Hi, this is Trinisha Cottrell. I am an author of Learn from My Missteps and entrepreneur of First Love Yourself. I am a life coach, I am a public speaker, and a mother. And so, thank you for joining me today. Today, I'm going to talk about what to do when you have a moment of weakness. Let's go ahead and put it like that. And of course, the title says, I get so weak in the knees. Because listen, we are all human. And I know that's like, it sounds like a cop out. Let me explain why it's not a cop out, right? So, when you're going through life, it could feel like you need to be perfect. Like you got to do everything 100% correctly every single time you do something. And that's just not reality. We're human beings. We're not robots. We're not going to just be a perfection, a image of perfection every single day, every single moment. There are going to be things that we do and do not do the right way. And it's not that we are intentionally messing up. Some of us are actually striving for perfection. We're striving to be better. But along the way, we do make mistakes. And that is how we learn as human beings. I think it's so important for us to understand that before I even say anything else in this video, to know that you are exactly who God created you to be at your best. When you are being the best version of yourself, you're doing everything that you need to do. Don't do not feel like you are doing something wrong because you're not perfect. Nobody is perfect but God. Okay, now that we done got that out the way, here is what I've learned. So whenever I get weak in the spirit, I usually like, and in my spirit, in my standards, in my spirit, things like that. I have three things that keep me focused on God's promise. And I know you're probably like, okay, I knew you were going to throw God in there. Of course, like there's no way I would be here without God. And honestly, lately I've been struggling a little bit. Can I be real and say that? Or is somebody going to judge me? Probably so, and it's fine. But if I help somebody else who's struggling in the same way, then it's worth it. So I have, that moment when you get focused, you like, I'm about to do this, this, and this. I got this all lined up. I got, this finance thing is game on point. I'm about to just be about it. And the next thing you know, in comes a distraction. And it's like, it'll throw off your whole game. You will be so intentional with your life. And it's like, the adversary knows what it is that you're interested in. Like, if it's food, if it's cars, if it's houses, if it's guys, women, whatever it is, the adversary is going to send you the most appetizing thing that you could possibly see or taste or touch or whatever else, right? So you have to be on guard. You have to be wise as a serpent and harmless as a dove, like Proverbs says. You really do have to be about it. You can't just be like, okay, whatever, it'll be fine. No, you really got to look at your life. Sorry, I had to throw my phone because I don't want to get distracted in this video. I got things to do, okay? And so so I really have had a moment where I was just like, okay, God, I'm doing this, this, and this. I want to stay focused. I want to do the things that you want for me to do. Nothing more, nothing less. I don't know like what it is that where you're telling me to go next, but I want to be ready and in position so that when you tell me to go, I'm ready. I got all the things from the past to bring forward with me. All the things that I've learned in the past to bring forward with me. I've got the knowledge. I've got the insight I've learned through my struggles, through my pain, through all of the mistakes, the flaws, all of the things that I've made, I've learned from it. So I can use these things to go forward. And I was like, okay, I'm going to take this course. I'm going to do this thing. I'm going to do this, this, and this. I got my PDF created because I have a free PDF that I'm going to give out to you guys probably next week. So next week's video on Friday, I will drop the free PDF as well as there's a link for a freebie that I have for you as well. And so there's going to be two of those. I'm going to try to do one a month, but we'll see what happens. Okay. So, so I want to make sure that I give you guys things that I've learned, and it can be something that's tangible, something that you can actually write in like a journal or whatever else. So you can keep track of your progress. Because for me, when I started doing these vlogs, it was because I wanted to be intentional, because I wanted to be obedient to God, and because I wanted to see how far I had come in my healing journey. when I started my healing journey at the beginning, I was focused on God, and I was like, God, if it's me and you forever, I'm good, and along the way, I spent some time with God. God gave me instruction that I will be with someone, my kingdom spouse, and I really struggled with it hard, and some people, a lot of women will say, well, of course I want to be with someone, but I just couldn't imagine in that moment ever being with anybody else ever again. And it's not that relationships are horrible or anything like that. I don't want to be that person who, got hurt or something, and then all of a sudden I'm relationships this, like I don't have any type of bad thing that I want to say about relationships or men in general. I think that men are amazing. I think they can be amazing leaders. I really do feel like there are some amazing men in this world. I'm not that woman that's like so scorned or hurt that I'm going to feel like every man is this, every man is that. No, every man is different. So, I don't have anything to say about that except for y'all could be some great leaders, and if you really are intentional and about that business, like there's nothing that any man can accomplish. And if a man is leading the household, I really feel like there's nothing that can separate it. Like with a strong man and a woman with boundaries, it's got kingdom written all over it. You know what I'm saying? And so I'm not that type of person that really feels like I'm just gonna say all, because it's not all. It's not a generalized thing. This is each thing is individual. Each thing is specific to whatever scenario, whatever person. You know, and so it was not because of that reason that I thought I want to be single. I have trouble focusing when I meet people, when I'm in relationship, whenever, whatever, like in the past. And so I really felt like if God introduced a person into my life, I wouldn't be able to focus. All of the things that are in my purpose, all of the things that God intends for me to do, I felt like I wouldn't be able to accomplish it with a person. And I know that probably sounds ridiculous to so many people. You're like, well, with the right person, you're going to do this. Listen, my mind is so over analytical, and I can hone in on one thing or several things. And sometimes that thing can consume my mind. And I know it sounds crazy, but like, so when I'm thinking about something, and so when I'm thinking about something, that'll be the thing that really deters me. It's the thing that pulls me off course, and I really want to stay focused on God. Like I was praying so hard in the car earlier. I'm gonna try not to cry because I say that every time I do one of these videos. It's like it gets all of the things out of me, and it's just like this is the only time I cry. So so of course I'm crying in this video, right? But I was really praying in the car because I was like, God, I don't want to be distracted. Like I said, I was going to do the PDF, and I said that I was going to do this course, and I was going to learn all of these things so I can create this new thing, this new product that I'm working on. And all week I've been so distracted. I finished the PDF. Yes, I got a lot of stuff done around the house. Well, ish. I did the normal cleaning. I organized a few things, did the floors, wiped down the counters, did dishes, laundry is done for the week, whatever else. But I did not, there's, I didn't do the product. I didn't work on the product at all this week. I went to 2 or 3 courses on how to create this product that I want to create that is going to be so amazing that will help so many people. And I feel like that's why the adversary sent these distractions, because he knew that this could help so many people. When you are really on to something, when God is really trying to use you in your purpose, that is the time when the adversary will send in distractions. He will do whatever it takes to stop you from helping other people. And it's so crazy because when it happens, you don't even realize you're getting distracted until you realize a week, 2 weeks have went by and you haven't done anything. I don't want to be that person. I did help somebody. So I did help. There were 2 people that I always try to speak life into everyone, but there was one person in particular who remembered me from in the season where I was just like, I just want to be all about God. And I didn't think that what I did was that noticeable. I just was being Christ-like. I just wanted to display the Christ-likeness in me to help this person. I wasn't thinking about, oh yeah, this person will remember me. I just thought, it was something nice to do. And so when she remembered me, I was like, oh my gosh. And you just see in her eyes, she was just like, oh my gosh. And it just made me feel so good on the inside. And then the other thing that I did that God allowed me to do. It was just like, he really allowed me to speak life into this person, to help this person in the way that God helped me in the past. And I got to tell this person all of the things that I did, kind of like my life coaching sessions, and it really warmed my heart to be able to help somebody else. But I did do that this week. But I still, when I don't get the thing done that I know is necessary, I really feel like I let God down. I really feel like I didn't do all of the things that I should have done in that moment. And so I really, I really want to make sure that I'm intentional with my life. I don't want to go back to the person that I used to be. I don't want any relationship that if it's not from God. I don't want any person, place, or thing if God's not in it. And the sad thing is, when the adversary sends things to you, they will be appeasing. It will be something that you like. It's not like he's sending you something that's like, and I'm not saying Brussels sprouts is bad, but it's not like he's sending you Brussels sprouts and being like, oh, look at these delicious Brussels sprouts. And I'm not talking about the few people that like Brussels sprouts, like me and maybe one other person that I know. I mean, like people that are grossed out, like, oh, Brussels sprouts, what? Like that's what the adversary will do. He will send you something that looks so appetizing. Like if your thing is bread, it's gonna look like a fresh buttered biscuit, like like homemade, fresh in the oven. You just bite into it and it's like a cloud. You biting into a cloud. It's so good, He's gonna send you something like that. He's not gonna send you some nasty, stale, old, like trash food that is disgusting, that smells disgusting. He's gonna send you that nice, warm, fresh biscuit with butter on it straight out the oven. You know what I'm saying? So you really have to be about it. You really do have to be intentional with your life. You really got to be on guard. You have to really focus on what it is that God wants you to do in your life. And it's not easy. I know, like, sometimes I'm here and I'll say things and it really does work for me, but it's a process. It's not like, oh yeah, I'm just gonna do this right thing. The end. No, it's like, God, I need your help. Help me. Because I'm struggling in this moment and it's not easy. And it might take a couple minutes, it might take a couple days, but I got to get back on track. I got things to do. And so I have to do whatever it is that I need to do to make sure that I'm intentional with my life, that I'm in my purpose, that I'm not getting distracted by anything in my life. I need to make sure that I'm doing things that are glorifying the kingdom and not just selfish. I don't want it to just be all about me. It's got to be about God. God brought me this far, not this far so that my name could be great, but so that his name could be great. And if I'm sitting there just doing things that are appeasing to me, things that satisfy me, things that are temporarily satisfactory, that is not something that is going to glorify the kingdom. And so here are the 3 things. Let's go ahead and break it down so it doesn't get too deep. So the first thing I do is I start speaking things that aren't as if they are. Yes, that's scripture. I did not write down the verse, but you have to look it up. And affirmations. So I start speaking I ams. And for those of you that don't know, when you say I am, you're calling on the name of God. So you're like, I am smart. I am beautiful. I am intelligent. I am fearfully and wonderfully made. I am the head and not the tail, so on and so forth. And as you speak those things, you're reminding yourself of who God says that you are so that you don't allow the world to tell you who they want you to be. You don't allow other people to speak death over you. You allow them to speak life into you. You allow yourself to speak life into you so that when other people come along, it's nice if somebody says something good, but that's not all it is. It's not the end all be all. God is the end all be all. And what he says in scripture is that you're fearfully and wonderfully made. He says that you're a holy nation, that you're a royal priesthood. He says that you are fearfully and wonderfully made. He says that you are the head and not the tail. So you have to remember that when the world is trying to create you or make you be something that is their own insecurity, because people will not believe in themselves. They'll be insecure. They will have doubts. They'll have a defeatist attitude, and they'll try to employ those thoughts on you, and make you feel like you're not good enough or who God said that you are. But you have to always remember for yourself, regardless of who is or isn't a part of your life, that you are everything that God created you to be. You have to know that you are here for a purpose. And although the things that you're doing may be temporarily satisfactory, it is not your purpose. If you really want to change the world, I want to change the world. I can't get distracted. I have things to do. I can't allow like something to come along just because it's something nice doesn't mean it's God. Just because a person's like nice doesn't mean it's God. It could be somebody in church. They might not be the person, but it could be somebody out in the world, but they could have God-like characteristics or Christ-like characteristics that actually is a decent human being. So you have to use discernment and you have to remember who you are so the world doesn't tell you who they want you to be, you know? And so the second thing that I do is dress your best. And this doesn't mean that you gotta be like drenched and like you gotta be bedazzled or you gotta have like the most luxurious name brand outfits and everything's a name brand, but that's besides the point. It's high end, low end, mid. But you don't have to have the highest end fashion outfit on in the entire world to dress your best. And that's not just your outer appearance, that is your internal as well. So when you're learning, you are feeding your mind. You are educating yourself. You're becoming more emotionally intelligent. That is going to allow you to remember, okay, I know this. Nobody could be better at me than me being me. So whatever you're wearing, if you feel comfortable in it, if you feel confident in it, if you feel secure in it, if you feel like you are that person, wear that. Like it could be you feel comfortable in sweatpants. Okay, you look bad in sweatpants, put on the sweatpants. You know what I'm saying? Just don't put on sweatpants with holes in it. I know people do the whole hole thing, but just whatever you feel your best in, you do that. Because there's going to be people that come along and they're going to try you. They're going to try to test you. They're going to try to make you feel worthless when you're worthy. They're going to do things and make you feel like you're not really that person. And you have to remember that you are that person. You have to remember that you are good enough. And the thing that helps me is when I wear an outfit that I feel confident in, that I feel comfortable in, regardless of what any person in this world says, in family, friends, job, men, whoever it is, I remember who I am because I feel confident because of the clothing that I'm wearing. And I know people say clothes aren't all that. Okay, we're gonna say let's go ahead and I'm just gonna like let you have it for a second, right? Let's pretend like clothes aren't that important. Go ahead and wear something dingy, dirty, smelly, right? And let somebody tell you who they think that you are in the worst way. Think about how you're gonna feel in that moment, right? Now put on an outfit. You got that for girls, you got that pair of jeans that fits just right. It's like you put on that pair of jeans and you be like, okay, all right, this is it, right? Or you got that dress that you wear and it's just like every kind of flaw that you think that you have, you don't see it in this dress, right? Now let some guy, some person tell you who they think that you are in the worst way. How you gonna feel, right? So when you dress your best, regardless of what anybody else says, no matter how they feel or how they try to test you, or if they try to tell you that you're not worthy of being treated the way God intended for you to be treated, or that you don't deserve God's best, you're going to know that you deserve God's best because you're going to feel it, you know? So taking care of your skin, taking care of your body, making sure that you are dressed your best, whatever that is. And it does not have to be an elegant gown. It could literally be a t-shirt and jeans and you feel good in it. Make sure your hair is nice, neat, and organized, whatever that looks like. It could be natural, it could be not natural, it could be straight, perm, braided, whatever it is. Like, make sure you just taking care of your skin, your hair, your nails, your body, the things you're digesting so that you don't feel bloated. Because if you feeling bloated, you're going to be like, oh, maybe I do. No, you don't. That's a moment in time. I get bloated all the time. It's a thing. And it depends on the type of food that I'm eating. Like if I'm eating bread or rice, white rice or white bread, I'm going to get bloated. It's one other thing that I eat and I can't remember what it is because I barely eat it, but that thing gets me bloated. And if I'm doing that, I'm probably going to put on one of these shirts. Like you can't tell right now because I did a lot of stomach things that helped with this bloating issue. But yeah, like you got to do what you got to do to feel your best because the world will try you. They really will. And you know, most women, I don't know if men do this, but you want to make excuses for people for reasons why they can't step up and do what they need to do. But you have to remember that you deserve better than that. You cannot fall for the okey doke. You cannot allow somebody to try to give you the bare minimum or breadcrumb you or to give you something less than God's best of what you deserve in your life, regardless. And yeah, things happen in people's life. I'm not saying things don't happen. I'm just saying that you know that you deserve better. We got that intuition on point. When you feeling like is this really the best? Like if you feeling like that, it's not the best. If you're feeling like if you're feeling like, well, if you okay, here's something that helps me a lot. When you talking to your best friend, when you talking to your family members that you tell pretty much everything, not everything like that, because people don't need to know everything. But when you're telling them a story about the person that you're talking to, or your man, your woman, whatever it is, right? If you have to lie in the story to make the other person look good, they're not doing enough. You're not giving yourself what you deserve. You're not feeling like you deserve better or whatever else it is, right? If you got to lie at all to make them look better than they are, that is not the person for you, because it's your lie should be the truth. You know what I'm saying? So when you have to do that, that's a major, like, yeah. So just remember that for the future. And I hope that helped you. Like, I hope you understood what I was saying. And so just be the best version of you, because regardless of what someone else tells you that they want you to be, you will remember that you're that person. You'll remember that you are who God created you to be. You'll remember that you deserve God's best for you. And I'm not saying that you're perfect. None of us are perfect. Like I said at the beginning of this video, I have flaws. Every single human being has flaws. But there's a thing about your worth. If you truly love yourself, you know that you deserve God's best. You know that you don't deserve to settle for anything in life. And settling is not a preference. It is a necessity. You have to remember that if you are a decent person, you don't want somebody who's a bad person. You want to make sure, yeah, they say yin and yang, but no, we're not yin and yang, we are equally yoking. You know what I'm saying? And so just make sure that you know that you deserve God's best. You deserve the best for you. You don't have to settle. Statistics can say that 40 to 50% of people in marriage who marry young divorce, right? I'm not worried about statistics. I'm worried about God. God makes the impossible possible. So I don't have to worry about a number that somebody created based on a bunch of human beings who are just living life. I'm worried about, even if it was 0.001%, I'm waiting on God. I don't care what the world says. I care what God says. You know what I'm saying? So, number 3, listen to specific podcasts. When I get a moment of weakness, when I have a moment where I'm like, oh, it would be nice to go to a thing with this person. When I start feeling like, okay, God, I'm in my purpose, how long you gonna make me wait? And I don't try to rush God, because I understand anything prematurely is a curse, not a blessing, right? But when I have a moment of weakness, when I'm feeling in my feelings, when something happened to me, when I get let down, when I'm disappointed, when something doesn't go the way that I planned in my life, whether it's a job, whether it's a person, place, or thing, what I do is I have specific podcasts that I have on repeat that reminds me of the reason why I'm waiting for the job, waiting for the house, waiting for whatever it is that I aspire to have in my life. While I am waiting on God, it allows me to stay patient in my waiting season, to maximize my waiting season, and not to just rush through life for something, just to have something. I would rather be alone and content and happy than to ever be with a person that I rush to be with, to ever be with someone who doesn't give me the best that God has for me, to be lonely in a relationship. I would rather be alone all in one than to ever be lonely. a day in my life until I take my last breath. And I mean that from the bottom of my soul. And I know not everybody understands that, but for me, I have been in relationships and felt lonely. I'm not trying to go back there. I'm way too happy being single than to ever be with somebody just to have somebody, you know? So for me, it's really got to be the real deal. It cannot be someone just pretending. It cannot just be anything. It's not just going to be anybody. I'm not settling for anybody. I'm selling for somebody who knows my worth. Someone who knows that I deserve better than the bare minimum. Someone who really does appreciate me as a person, as a human being, treating me with common courtesy and human decency and common courtesy, treating me like God's child and not just an inanimate object. You know, that is what matters to me. And whatever your thing is that reminds you to not settle, you have to have that on standby. Like, I threw my phone across the room, but but in my phone on my podcast, I literally have like 10 podcasts that I've saved. One is about money. One is about like staying focused in life or something like that. One is about the 5 love languages from Jay Shetty, I think, when he was getting ready to do his book. So this is the book right here. Oh, the 8 rules of love. Sorry. I'm thinking of Chapman, the 5 love languages, but still, that's a good book as well. I don't have a podcast on it, but yes, that is a good book to learn your love language. But anyways, and the other one is one about waiting on God for whatever it is, like when God sends you a promise and then you have to wait on him. And then I have another one that talks about you imagining your best life. And would your best self be okay with this decision, with this person, with this place, with this thing? Like if you were driving the car of your dreams, if you're in the house of your dreams, if you are dressed like the person that you think you're going to be dressed like at your best. For me, it's dressed because I'm into fashion. But whatever it is that you're doing, if you would choose the same things at your best, then that's the right thing for you. If it's just where you're at right now and you know you're going to grow and become a better person, that's probably not for you. That job is probably not for you unless God says stay there. You know, I never want to tell somebody to go leave their job because that job could be training you for the next season of your life. That job could be allowing you to meet the right people to put you in the right places because maybe you'll meet someone along the way that will help you on your journey to your destiny. You know, so you really do have to be disciplined, obedient, and you have to use discernment in your life to make sure that you're making the best decisions for you. So when you have a moment of weakness, you always have to make sure that you speak things that aren't as if they are. Really speak those affirmations over your life to remind you who you are and who God says that you are. You have to dress your best internally and externally. Stimulating. Oh my gosh, can I get that word right? You have to stimulate your mind, and you have to make sure that your body is taken care of, that you're eating healthy, that you're doing the things that you need to do so that you feel your best on the inside and the outside. So that when I'm reading, I don't feel as on point. Like there's no other time that I feel as on point as I do as when I'm reading. When I read a book every day, or I read one book a week or whatever else, I always feel like I'm on point when it comes to doing these videos. When it comes to talking to someone about something, I'm more knowledgeable. I can actually talk to these things, you know, so it really helps me become more well-rounded and feel like I'm at my best, regardless if I know everything or I know a little bit of something. And so that allows me to really feel like confident in who I am, in that version of myself, in that day. The third thing, listen to specific things. Have that saying that you say when you feel down in the dumps, have it on standby. I'm so serious because the adversary will come in so quick to try to squash your spirit, to try to dim your light, to try to make you forget who you are. And I literally in my phone have 10 podcasts that literally I just pick up and I'm go, okay. I have affirmations that I say, like the fearfully and wonderfully made, the head and not the tail, above only and not beneath, far more precious than rubies, things like that, that God says that I am in the Bible. I try to always have that in the forefront of my mind. So when the adversary comes along, I'm geared up and ready for battle. I got on my breastplate. I got on the belt. I got on the armor. I got on the helmet. I got my whole thing, my whole armor, my whole everything that I need ready for the spiritual warfare, ready for whatever the adversary brings my way, whatever God is trying to test me through, so he can see if I can go to the next level, so that I can show God that I'm paying attention and show him that I'm willing and ready to do whatever it is that he needs for me to do. If God says let go of a person and that person isn't supposed to be a part of my life, they're gone. Is it easy? No. But I also know that if God's telling me to release something, a person, place, or thing, he's replacing it with something that's more grace for me. So if you are ready for God to give you what's grace for you, and you're not going to let a moment destroy your life or allow you to feel guilty and keep you stagnant in this journey, then put it's just a moment in the comments, because it is only one moment. It is not your entire life. Always remember who and whose you are. And definitely hit the like, hit the subscribe. Come back and see me on Monday at, usually it's 9 p.m., but I just am saying Mondays and Fridays because my schedule is so hectic now. And if you can't wait till Monday, I will be on Facebook Live at 2 p.m., which is really 2:10 because I allow people time to log on. I know I'm going to get this right. But yeah, I will see you at 2 p.m. on Facebook Live, or I will see you on Monday night. So I will be here again. And I really, really appreciate you being a part of this, you watching, you commenting, you just allowing me to be able to speak life into you, and allowing God to just use me as a vessel so that I could help other people. I really appreciate it so much. Thank you so much for watching. I will see you on the next go around. Good night.